Hello, my name is Emily, and I'm here today with nationally recognized authority and trust clause litigation, Dan Dalton. So Dan, several churches in conferences are reporting that their conference and district superintendent will not schedule a local congregational meeting to vote to disaffiliate or will not even allow them to talk about disaffiliation. What should those churches do?
Well, every church needs to know throughout the United States that they are corporate entities subject to state law. Whether they're incorporated or they're unincorporated associations, they are corporate entities. And they need to know that as a corporate entity under state law, they have the right to have meetings. They have the right to discuss disaffiliation. They have the right to determine who their future lies with, whether it's the United Methodist Church, independent, or with some other denomination. They have that right to do that as a state entity. And in fact, the discipline even says so. In the discipline under section 2506 on page 736, it provides that all provisions of the discipline relating to property and relating to the formation and operation of any corporation must be in conformity with local laws, which is defined as state law. And here's the most important part, in the event of conflict therewith, meaning the conflict within state law or the discipline, local laws or state law prevails. So you got to follow state law. You can ignore this discipline and follow state law when the conferences are ignoring the discipline in state law. Under 2553, it provides under section 3 that the church conference shall be conducted by the district superintendent. So if they're not going to appear, they're not going to help you, they're not going to provide anything to you with respect to disaffiliation, you have the discipline out there that supports that position. So if you want, you can appeal that to the judicial council, but they're not going to help you, quite frankly, and the time's going to be over by the end of December 2023. Just follow state law. Work with counsel within your state or work with us, and we can help guide you through that process on state law to make sure that you have a path out. It's not a hopeless situation. There are paths out. I know it's really disheartening at this point in time based on what conferences are really taking egregious and extreme positions. Not everyone, but there are some conferences where they don't have discussions, or they're closing the door to disaffiliation, or they're just making such the steps and the processes are just impossible to follow or to complete. Yeah, that's frustrating, but you can use state law to help out, and I'm sure if you work with competent counsel that guides you through that process, you'll be able to leave that denomination.
Can the court compel a district superintendent to hold a meeting?
No. So if you went to court and said, Judge, 2553 says that the conference shall have a meeting upon the request of the local church, order the district superintendent to do it, a judge is not going to hear that case and is going to decline it based on a historic doctrine called ecclesiastical abstention. There's a case from the 1800s called Watson versus Jones, where the United States Supreme Court said that courts will not involve themselves in the discipline or in the ecclesiastic entity of a local church or an entity. They're not going to do it. They'll only get involved in property or governance. That's it. So they're not going to compel the district superintendent to comply with the discipline or to hold a meeting. They're not going to say who's going to be in the pulpit on Sunday. They're not going to provide for the terms of membership, or more importantly, the statement of faith. A court will not do that and cannot do that based on ecclesiastical abstention. So you can't rely on a court to do that. All you can rely on a court to do is say, Judge, you have state law, we are a corporate entity, or we are an unincorporated association within the state. The state statutes provide for these things. We did these things, therefore we should be able to proceed with leaving the denomination or doing whatever we need to do to protect our assets. And that's really kind of where you need to direct your attention to, not the discipline, but it's the state law.
Well, thank you for your insight, Dan. If your church is interested in hiring our firm to help you through the disaffiliation process, please reach out to our office at 313-859-6000 or email us today. Thank you.